Welcome to Blood, Guts, and Booze.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kendrah. This is a paranormal and true crime podcast here to frighten you and make you question the world that we live in. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into this. Listener discretion is advised, as these podcasts are not for the faint of heart, nor are they PG.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals!
We hope that everyone had an amazing holiday. It's Boxing Day, so hopefully everyone is able to get what they want at the store today.
Yeah, hopefully Santa spoiled everybody, or whatever your Christmas or holiday traditions are. We hope you got spoiled.
I hope that goat spoiled y'all.
Yeah, we hope the Yule goat spoiled every single one of you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I hope Santa spoiled you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Santa spoiled me. Yep. Mm-hmm. And Levy.
Excellent.
Levy got a new chew toy.
Ooh, fancy.
Yes.
My child thought that our cats should have a stocking, and I said no.
Oh, my pets have a stocking.
Well, I mean, I already have to spend enough money, so.
True. I just get my animals like a can of wet food each, because it's the holidays, right?
Mine won't eat it.
Oh, yeah. Lily's kind of like that. He'll only eat certain ones. He's very picky.
I've tried like every kind, and both of them are just snobs about it.
Mine both really like the little soups, the kitty little soups.
Oh, I don't think I've tried that one.
They're like $1 at Walmart. And it's literally just like the juices.
See, that's their problem, is that they want the juice, but they don't want like the pate.
Yep, and I think, because my mom's cat's kind of the same. She just wants the juices. So it's basically just like a juice with a little, there's hair, a little tiny bits of meat in it, but not like a whole lot.
Kind of like when you give them tuna.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll eat tuna. I always give them tuna on their birthday.
Mm-hmm.
They get a can of tuna to split.
I think they would like this.
Okay.
That's what I got my kitties, because I know they really love it. Well, that was weird. I just felt like an orb go over your head. And I also got them a little bit of catnip. And Levy got some new squeakies, like I said. And some treats. And a bone. Because she's a chewer.
Anyways, as promised, I left what I think is the most famous Christmas crime for the very last. Today I am going to be talking about Jon Benét Ramsey.
Ooh.
I am willing to bet that almost all of our listeners know of this case, and in my opinion, it's one of the most debated unsolved crimes. So let's just dive right in.
Oh, debated doesn't even begin the theories behind this case.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to go near the end. We will talk about a lot of the theories.
Sounds good.
Surrounding this. So, Jon Benét Patricia Ramsey was born on August 6th, 1990 in Atlanta, Georgia, USA, to John and Patsy Ramsey. She had an older brother named Burke, and they had an older half-brother named Andrew from their father's previous marriage. I feel like Andrew gets forgotten a lot during this case. John Ramsey was a multimillionaire businessman, and her mother, Patsy, was a former beauty queen, Miss West Virginia of 1997.
Another West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. They lived a luxurious life in Boulder, Colorado, and the family had everything that they could possibly ask for. Jon Benét, as everybody knows, competed in beauty pageants. By age 6, she had already won multiple times. She was blonde and beautiful, and she basically had a perfect little life.
Katy Perry was really spoiled as a child.
I actually don't go into that theory, but there is a theory that Katy Perry is Jon Benét growing up.
That she never died, she turned into Katy Perry.
Yes.
That's
a theory I don't go into. The theories I go into is what happened.
Do you follow the Jon Benét subreddit?
I don't follow anything on Reddit.
You should follow this subreddit. People on it go ham on theories. Just ham.
I keep meaning to get into Reddit, but
I highly recommend it.
I feel like I don't want to fill my brain with too much, like,
Conspiracies?
opinions on crimes and then get it mixed up when I'm trying to give facts, in a way, if that makes sense. So anyways, in 1996, though, everything changed. On the morning of Boxing Day, Patsy Ramsey woke up before anyone else. She walked down their spiral staircase and found a 2.5-page ransom note demanding $118,000 for Jon Benét's safe return, and it said to expect a phone call, quote, tomorrow between 8 and 10 a.m. The only people in the house at that time were Patsy, John, and Burke. The note gave instructions to not contact the police, but Patsy called at 5:52 a.m. She also called family and friends. 2 police officers arrived within 3 minutes of the phone call. They checked the house but could not find any sign of forced entry. Officer Rick French went to the basement looking for an exit route during his search. He came across a door with a wooden latch across it and walked away because since it was locked, he later explained that because the latch was there and it was locked, essentially, that it ruled it out as an exit, which is why he didn't bother opening it. John then made arrangements to pay the ransom, and Boulder detective Linda Arndt arrived at 8 a.m. in anticipation of further instructions from the kidnapper on where to take the money, but no one ever attempted to claim the money. Forensic teams arrived and blocked off Jon Benét's bedroom in hopes of keeping it from being contaminated. Sadly, though, the rest of the house was not kept that way.
Which was a huge mistake.
Yes.
I mean, they've already done a few mistakes, I think. But, like, that was a big mistake.
Yeah, between the number of friends, victim advocates, family, the family's minister, and investigators, there was no hope in keeping the scene completely uncontaminated.
Oh, for sure.
People
were just going in and out.
Visitors were also trying to be nice and were picking up and cleaning surfaces in the kitchen, which could have destroyed evidence.
Like, I get it, but at the same time, go the fuck home.
Yeah.
Leave these people. Go the fuck home.
Yeah, or stand outside or something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, it is winter, I get it, but they're what? Georgia, you said?
Colorado.
Colorado, my bad. It's probably cold.
There was snow on the ground, but only in the front yard, not in the backyard. Weird little side thing. So when police arrived, John pointed out how the note asked for the exact amount of his Christmas bonus the year before. Weird. This made him believe that someone who knew them and that information must be the person responsible for Jon Benét's disappearance.
Makes sense.
Police looked into people that worked for Access Graphics, John's company, and also looked into the theory of it being connected to the Bible, Psalm 118. They spoke to religious sources to see if there could be any relevance. The ransom note was also unusually long. The note was actually written at the Ramsey home from Patsy's notepad. They also found a rough draft.
Oh.
Yeah. Investigators found it very strange. There was also suspicion that Patsy had written the note herself, as the only fingerprints on the note were hers and investigators, and police believed that the note was staged. But if Patsy had written it, then why would she put to not call the police in the note and then call them?
Sorry, Loki found a toy with a bell in it, and then he has the zoomies. I mean, she could have done it to throw herself off the trail. But at the same time, the person could have used gloves.
Mm-hmm.
So no fingerprints were left, no DNA.
Yes. So at 1 p.m., long after the 10 a.m. deadline for a phone call had passed, and neither of the parents had really reacted to that time, Detective Arndt asked John and his family friend Fleet White to search the house and see if anything kind of seemed amiss to them.
Like, search the house. Let's search the house again, refresh our memories, see if we can see something new.
Well, she asked him to look around just with his friend to let her know, without a police escort with them, just them to look around.
My bad.
So the pair started their search in the basement right away.
Mm-hmm.
And right away, John went to that door that Officer French had walked away from. And in one of the rooms, he found Jon Benét's body.
Yep.
But he basically just went straight there. Jon Benét's mouth was covered in duct tape. A nylon cord was wrapped around her wrists and neck. Her torso was covered with a white blanket. John then picked up Jon Benét and brought her body upstairs. This again contaminated the entire scene. John should have never touched Jon Benét, let alone moved her.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He also immediately took the tape off of her mouth and began trying to untie her, thinking that she may possibly still be alive, and he was trying to save her.
I get it.
Yes.
It is her dad. I get it. But at the same time, it's this is a crime scene.
Yes.
You can't be doing that.
In the basement, there was also a suitcase propped underneath an open window on the opposite side of the basement, where Jon Benét was found. Some speculate that this is how the killer left the house. There were leaves in the windowsill, and the same leaves were found next to Jon Benét's body, but there were cobwebs in the window that were left fully unbroken. So it goes back and forth. And there weren't leaves found in any other part of the basement between that window and her body.
You'd think there'd be at least
a trail or something.
Not even just a trail, but there'd be a little bit near the window, because if you were to crawl in or out, some would at least fall on the ground. And
well, yeah, it was found at the window and the windowsill,
but out a little bit. You know what I mean?
But that was in one room on the left. You had to exit it, go into a little hallway, come back in through a boiler room, and then back to where her body was.
If there was enough leaves on your feet to stay at her body at the other end, yeah, there had to be some left somewhere else in the middle.
But there was none, which was really weird. So the Ramseys then provided handwriting, blood, and hair samples to the police.
Mm-hmm.
John and Patsy participated in a preliminary interview together for more than 2 hours. Burke was interviewed within a couple weeks after the crime. The autopsy then revealed that Jon Benét had been killed by strangulation and a skull fracture. The official cause of death was asphyxia by strangulation associated with craniocerebral trauma. There was no evidence of conventional rape or semen found at the scene, but sexual assault was not ruled out as there had been a vaginal injury. The pathologist noted that it seemed as if her vaginal area had been wiped with a cloth, and her death was ruled a homicide.
So were they thinking that maybe they tried to do something and then wiped away evidence afterwards?
Yes. So around Jon Benét's neck was a garrote. It was made with the nylon and a piece of a broken handle of a paintbrush.
Oh my god.
For those that don't know what a garrote is, it's basically where you put something straight like the paintbrush, and you put the nylon around her neck, and then you twist until it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter and chokes someone.
You're supposed to use it when somebody has a leg or arm injury and you gotta stop the bleeding and
So
I learned that in CPR.
This is what was used to strangle her. The top part of the paintbrush was found in Patsy's art supplies. but the third broken part has never been found. There were also 2 small wounds found on Jon Benét's back. There are 2 theories of what they're from. Either a stun gun or a toy train track in the basement.
Okay.
That was in the room with the suitcase.
So kind of either she got shocked or pushed down and then the pressure left a mark kind of thing, right?
Possibly. So the autopsy also revealed that she had eaten fruit or vegetable that may represent pineapple a few hours before her death. Photographs of the home reveal that there was a bowl of pineapple on the kitchen table with a spoon in it. Only Burke's fingerprints were found on it. The Ramseys have always said that they never remembered putting the bowl of pineapple on the table or feeding it to Jon Benet. They also stated that Burke always slept through the entire night until he was awakened several hours later after the police arrived. I mean, apparently he slept through the cops being there and searching his house, but okay. So the Jon Benet's underwear were also soaked with urine. An early theory is that she was a bedwetter, but her bed was completely dry. And also her, like, sheets and stuff were clearly slept in for more than one night, whatever. It wasn't that they were freshly done that night. And it's believed that she wet herself while being assaulted.
I was going to say she probably got so scared that she
Peed.
right? Which is so sad.
And understandable.
But, like, that would happen to anybody of any age, too. Like,
Yeah.
like, it does not matter what your age is. If Kendrah, if you were beating the shit out of me, 1,000% I'd probably piss myself. And I can't guarantee that I wouldn't even shit myself. I'd probably even throw up a little bit. Like, and I'm not joking. Like, I actually mean that seriously, too. Like,
Especially being strangled to death. You're going to become incontinent.
oh,
It's going to happen.
exactly. Like, it... Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. So the Boulder police force initially put almost all of their focus on Jon and Patsy, but by October 1997, they actually had over 1,600 people on their persons of interest list.
Holy shit. I mean, I get going to the parents or, like, other family members or close friends because that's what you do when kids are normally taken by a friend or, like, somebody they know, right? The fuck are you playing with a goddamn dog bone for, you fucking weirdo? Piece of a dog bone. Oh my god.
So at this point, there were already way too many errors with solving this case.
Oh yeah.
The parents weren't interviewed right away.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't interviewed separately.
Mm-hmm.
The house was contaminated by too many people.
Mm-hmm.
Burke wasn't interviewed for weeks.
Oh jeez.
And Jon Benet's body had been moved.
And touched.
Yeah. So fibers found on the duct tape on Jon Benet's mouth matched fibers on Patsy's clothing. Jon and Patsy were given inconsistent stories. And the note was written from a paper inside their home. And Patsy's paintbrush was used to kill Jon Benet. So naturally, everyone thought that they had killed their own daughter. Theories of what really happened that night were quick to start and have never really stopped.
Oh yeah. Trust me. Check out that subreddit.
Maybe. I don't really like Reddit. In 1997, the Boulder grand jury voted to indict Jon and Patsy for their alleged role in Jon Benet's death. The DA decided not to charge them, though, because there wasn't enough evidence. I mean, their DNA is going to be all over their house. They live there.
Exactly.
After this, the Ramseys returned to Atlanta, Georgia to try and escape the constant media following them. Because me saying that the media harassed this family is a complete understatement.
Oh,
They
I
were
can imagine.
so swarmed constantly.
Probably smothered.
Yeah. Like, they had to hide in friends' houses and stuff. Like, I was reading...
They were probably being harassed.
Oh, God, so much.
Assaulted. Oh, man.
So, like, say they didn't do it. They were, like, grieving parents and they were just harassed so much. Unfair. But say they did do it, then it's like, whatever. Also in 1999, the Ramseys began starting their many lawsuits against several people, companies, and media outlets for defamation against them and Burke. Their friends have also filed them. Basically, anyone that accuses the Ramseys of doing this, they get a defamation suit. In 2001, they filed a defamation suit against the authors and publishers of Jon Benét Inside the Ramsey Murder Investigation. It was settled out of court the following year. Also in 2001, the Ramseys released their own memoir called The Death of Innocents. The Ramseys then had 2 defamation suits against them by people mentioned in the book as being interviewed by the Boulder police, but both were dismissed. In December 2003, forensic investigators extracted enough material from a mixed blood sample found on Jon Benét's underwear to establish a DNA profile. The DNA belonged to an unknown male and excluded the DNA of each Ramsey. The DNA was submitted into the FBI's database, 1.6 million DNA profiles, and not a single match.
Holy shit.
In 2005, Patsy died of ovarian cancer.
Oh.
In 2008, Patsy and Jon were finally officially exonerated for the murder. So Patsy sadly died before she
could ever find out what happened.
Or find peace of people people accused her till the day she died. In October 2010, the Boulder police reopened the case. In October 2016, a report stated that new forensic analysis with better techniques revealed that the DNA profile found on Jon Benét's underwear was actually contained 2 separate DNA profiles other than Jon Benét's.
Okay. So her underwear has 2 DNA samples on it.
Mixed in a blood sample, yeah.
Yeah. And 3 if you count hers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other 2 are males that aren't her dad or Burke.
All right.
Yeah. So
and her mom's already kind of rolled it.
So who did it? Many people have many theories on what happened to little Jon Benét. I'm going to run through a couple of these theories. I think the biggest theory is...
It's Katy Perry.
No. So I think the biggest theory is that someone in the family killed her. So first, there's Patsy.
Yeah.
Yes, she's been exonerated, but a lot of people still think that she had something to do with it. The theory is that Jon Benét had wet the bed again, which was apparently common. Patsy was mad about having to clean up after her again and became angry enough that she slammed Jon Benét's head against a hard surface, like the bathtub. The garret was made out of one of her paintbrushes, and she is the one that discovered the strange ransom note. Some people, even some police, believe that Patsy wrote the note in a panic after realizing what she had done. The note was written on her stationery and with her pen, and the handwriting analysis was inconclusive.
I have heard that theory, yeah.
Second, we have Jon, again exonerated, but when he was asked to look around the home, he went straight to where Jon Benét's body was.
That is true.
He was told not to touch anything, yet immediately picked her up and took the tape off her mouth. And there's also rumors of him sexually assaulting Jon Benét. And if you go dark enough in the web, there's also a couple rumors that they kind of just let other people have her a bit. Lastly, there is 9-year-old Burke. After the murder, he didn't talk to any press for 20 years until he finally showed his face on Dr. Phil. And if no one has seen this, I suggest that you do. He has the creepiest grin on his face the entire interview. Some say that his smile isn't happy, though. It's because he's uncomfortable, almost like a nervous laugh. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like that.
He's really smug.
He looks like that while being asked to describe seeing her dead body. Because her eye was, like, droopy and stuff. It was weird.
I mean, like, I get awkward and uncomfortable with death. And, I mean, Claire on Modern Family, I know it's made up. She kind of smiles awkwardly when she talks about death. She doesn't know why she does it, but at the same time, like, he does look pretty smug.
Yeah.
In the whole thing. Like,
yeah. So
I get it.
The running theory is that Jon Benét took a piece of pineapple from Burke's late night snack.
I knew it.
Like you said. Burke became angry, grabbed a flashlight, and hit Jon Benét on the back of the head. The flashlight was beside the bowl in the morning, but Burke and Jon Benét's DNA were not found on it. And the flashlight basically matched the exact wound on her head.
Huh.
He could have easily been jealous that Jon Benét got constant attention.
I mean, she is a
Beauty queen.
beauty queen.
Yeah. The marks on her back were also suspected to have come from Burke's train track toy, poking her to see if she was conscious.
Yeah, yeah.
In 2016, The Case of Jon Benét Ramsey was a show on CBS, and it theorized that Burke had hit Jon Benét with a flashlight after she took a piece of pineapple from her bowl. And Burke's lawyers filed a defamation suit against CBS. In 2019, the case was settled to the satisfaction of all parties.
Okay.
They didn't technically say Burke did it, but they basically did everything except full out accuse him. My personal favorite is that more than one Ramsey was involved. Burke hit her with the flashlight, and Patsy panicked. She wrote the note and wiped down the flashlight while John helped her stage the scene.
I could see that, like, you know what, like, oh shit, yes, our child is dead, but at the same time, we got to save our other kid.
And that happens.
I can see that. Like, I get that, why that's your favorite, because it seems very plausible.
Yes. There are a couple more theories and suspects outside of the family as well, though, that people really get into. So first we have Gary Olivia.
I almost thought you were going to say me, and I was like, what?
It's just missing an eye. He was a 32-year-old known sex offender in Boulder at the time of Jon Benét's death.
Yes, I've heard this theory. Yeah.
He was a drifter. In 2000, he was picked up on drug charges and had a magazine cutout of Jon Benét in his backpack at the time.
Oh, creepy.
One of Gary's childhood friends even actually came forward saying that not long after Jon Benét's death, Gary called him in a panic and said, "I heard a little girl." Gary also had a stun gun on him at the time of his arrest.
Okay.
He was cleared though when his DNA did not match anything.
Okay.
Another suspect is Michael Helgoth. He was an electrician who worked nearby and was in alleged property dispute with the Ramseys at the time. He also had boots that were similar to those found in the basement. He also had boots that were similar to the footprint that was found in the basement next to her body.
Okay.
In 1997, a press conference stated that police were zeroing in on a new suspect, and 2 days later, Michael committed suicide.
Oh, shit.
He remains cleared because of DNA and his death.
Oh, no.
In 2000,
Probably got so harassed that he couldn't take it anymore.
perhaps, or he killed himself because he's guilty, which is
That
what a lot of
too.
people think.
That too.
So in 2006, a former school teacher, John Mark Carr, confessed to killing Jon Benét in graphic sexual detail.
Oh.
He had been living in Thailand after facing child pornography charges in the U.S.
Oh.
and contacted a man who was making a documentary on Jon Benét. John was arrested and brought to Boulder for questioning. His DNA did not match the unknown male profile on Jon Benét's long johns. He confessed and even showed diary entries that talked in detail about his sexual fantasies with Jon Benét. He referred to himself as Daxus. He claimed that strangling her was a, quote, love game gone wrong. He was cleared as being nothing but a pedophile wanting fame, and he is now living under a new identity and a new gender.
he... Yeah, I was gonna say he probably wanted fame. And, like, I mean, this information is so well known, right? And if he's a little unbalanced, I can see him going off the edge a little bit and doing this for the fame. And
the only information he could give police, though, was the information that had already been released.
Exactly.
He could not give any details that the police had kept to themselves.
Well, exactly.
So he was ruled out. Next, we have the housekeeper. Linda Hoffman Pugh. P-U-G-H, guys. There was no sign of forced entry, and she had a key to the home.
Mm-hmm.
She stood up for herself and basically accused Patsy of killing Jon Benét. She provided a handwriting sample, fingerprints, and hair. She testified for a total of 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Once saying about Patsy, quote, "I think she had multiple personalities.
Oh.
She'd be in a good mood, and then she'd be cranky. She got into arguments with Jon Benét about wearing a dress or about a friend coming over."
I mean, I guess she would have first-hand experience of seeing how the family really is behind closed doors.
Exactly.
So
The theory is that she led Jon Benét downstairs to try and get money because she was struggling at the time, and she could have easily seen Jon's pay stub to know the exact amount.
True.
Some people even went so far as to accuse the friendly old man who dressed as Santa at the family's Christmas party.
Oh, wow.
People claimed that he paid a little too much attention to Jon Benét and had chosen her to be his, quote, special friend.
Icky.
But basically, he was just a wonderful, friendly old man. And
They make it sound like so much more
Yeah.
gross than it is.
they twisted it and made it sound like he was this creepy, gross old man, but he was just this wonderful old man.
Just a really kind old man who wanted to be Santa for some kids.
Yeah. So nowadays, Jon Ramsey is now remarried.
Mm-hmm.
He said in an interview with CBS in 2012 that he used to be really angry, and he was angry enough that he would actually say that they didn't even need a trial, and he'd take care of it himself when they found the guy.
Oh, no.
He said that he now has let go of that anger, but he still remains hopeful that his daughter's murder will be solved. Jon Benét Ramsey's death remains unsolved. No matter the theory, many blame the Boulder investigators for not doing enough.
Oh, if that, like, okay. Should but shouldn't, but I get why people blame them because they did make so many mistakes. So many.
And
Sorry.
that's okay. And believe things should have been done very differently that morning.
Mm-hmm.
One thing everyone agrees on, though, is that this is such a tragic case, and I hope that one day this little beauty queen gets justice.
Oh, 1,000%. She deserves it. Like, there's... This poor girl, she had such a bright future, and it got taken away from her so fast. She didn't even start to live.
Yeah.
Just barely started to live.
So I do have a little bit of trivia. Actually, like a good little chunk here. Jon Benét is buried at St. James Episcopal Cemetery in Marietta, Georgia, their hometown. Jon Benét actually had an older sister die in a car crash 5 years before she did, and they are buried next to each other.
Oh, shit. Question. Was her mother the driver of the car crash?
I don't know.
We should find that out.
Why?
I don't know, it just seems suspicious.
No, like from, I want to say like the sister was from like the previous marriage. There was a partial shoe print found next to Jon Benét's body that did not match anyone in the house.
Yes, you had mentioned a shoe print and the electrician.
But it didn't match any shoes that were in the home. Burke has never been considered a suspect by investigators.
Interesting.
Because he was 9, couldn't have done it.
It's a kid, it's just a kid.
Yeah. We've covered killer kids here, guys.
Kids can be just as dangerous as adults.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes more. The Ramseys fought for months with lawyers to not talk to police, and to determine what questions would be asked and when they were interviewed and where. There were 38 registered sex offenders living within a 3-kilometer radius of the Ramsey home.
Oh, that's gross. That is so close.
Yeah, and some people actually believe that Patsy sexualized Jon Benét with the pageants
I can
and
see it.
attracted pedophiles to her, and that's what killed her. It's rumored that the only reason that John Mark Carr changed his gender was to get closer to young girls in a child sex cult called the Immaculates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was later determined that a few windows and a door had actually been unlocked that night. John E. Douglas, who we all know, worked with the Ramseys' lawyer on the case, and in 1997, he worked with them to see whether or not the Ramseys were involved.
Mm-hmm.
Jon Benét has been the subject in at least 12 different books and countless articles. There are at least 5 TV shows about Jon Benét and a documentary released by Netflix in 2017.
I have seen that one.
Jon Benét has her own IMDb page.
Oh.
And Jon Benét's older stepbrother was recently on Dr. Oz to talk about how he thinks the case is still solvable if the Boulder police would just do a little more. So, listeners and Olivia, what is your Jon Benét theory, and do you think we'll ever know the truth?
You know what? I want to say it would be awesome if they figured out what had happened, but I don't think they're ever going to. It's hard to say because there's also so many different theories on this case, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do kind of maybe agree that her mom was possibly sexualizing her a bit with the pageants because she's very young, she's wearing makeup,
I think they're
very
creepy.
short, somewhat provocative dresses, because sometimes they're like sweetheart necklines and they're like 5-year-old kids.
Yeah, and like you've got videos of like her in bathing suits and like, I don't
Yeah.
know, I find like toddlers and tiaras and stuff like that, I just find it creepy, honestly. Like, giving my solid opinion, I'm sorry if that offends any of you people there, but I hate them.
Even though I'm like you, I think it was somebody in the family, if not all 3 of them.
I'm not
Like,
100%
I don't-
convinced that John was super involved,
Mm-hmm.
but he knew where she was.
There's too many things tying them weirdly enough to it.
Yeah.
And like I'm not fully accusing them. I'm not, because I really don't want to get us like, you know.
Yeah, I'm not
Cease and
accusing them.
desist.
I'm just saying
We're not-
that's my favorite theory.
It's one of the most plausible theories for sure. Like, it's one of the ones that makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the facts that we know, like I had said earlier, when somebody gets kidnapped, like when a child gets kidnapped, it's most of the time, it's a family or a close friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very small percentage of it being a stranger.
Yeah, we promote stranger danger, but really it's the people next to you that you should be worried about. Which is weird, right?
Monsters disguise themselves as being friendly, right?
Yeah.
And
That creepy aunt or uncle. Or that wonderful, sweet aunt or uncle.
you okay?
My voice is finally, like, starting to really go.
Oh, at least you're pretty much done, right? Yeah, it like I said, it's definitely one of my favorite theories. It's most plausible. I mean, it could be possible that it was one of the handful of pedophiles in the area.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't think so. It's just weird. I don't know.
And I mean, there's also so many other little details that I didn't mention. And I mean, really, if you want to, you can do such a deep dive rabbit hole into this. Like, I tried to summarize it the best that I could with the most important facts that I found. But there is so many other little details that could, like, literally change your entire opinion of this case.
I'm not joking when I say you should check out this subreddit for this. Like, some of the theories on there would blow your mind. You'd be like, whoa, that makes so much sense. Whoa, that also makes so much sense. It's like me when I watch Ancient Aliens and I'm just like...
Yeah.
So I tend to not go on that page a lot because I get way too invested in the conspiracy theories. And I get it like you. I don't want to get too invested and be like, no, this is how it is.
Yeah.
Not your information.
So I tried to stick more to the facts and let all of you form your own opinion. And
please tell us your conspiracy theories on this.
Yes.
I want to know.
It's like that one case that I think is forever, like, just going to be like the, oh yeah, no, I'm totally convinced on that. But, could it be that? Oh, no, I believe this now. But, oh, that also,
Yeah. It almost seems like a game of Clue, to be honest. Like, it doesn't seem real.
It was Mr. Mustard in the dining room with the lamp.
Yeah, like, I know it's real, because, I mean, it's part of history now, but...
And it's been referred to as being like Clue before a lot.
But it does seem like a murder mystery party game or Clue.
Yeah.
All right. You good?
Yeah, so what do you have for your most famous case?
Well, I picked for my Boxing Day episode. I went pretty basic, and I'm going to be covering Krampus.
Nice.
Wow, wow, wow.
Sorry.
It's all good. So, like Jon Benét, I'm sure a lot of our listeners have also heard of Krampus.
Especially since that movie came out.
I was gonna say, or seen the weird fucking movie called Krampus that came out in 2015.
Yeah.
It's a horror comedy, and it is kind of funny, but it's weird. And if you haven't, don't fret, because I'm here to tell you what Krampus is all about.
Excellent.
So, Krampus actually means Krampen, which means claw.
Crab people. Crab people.
Crab people. So, Krampus is a large half-goat, half-demon creature with a banged-up face, and he's furry. He has huge horns that curl all around his head, down his back, huge hooves, long-ass tongue, scary fangs, and claws.
Aw, he sounds cute.
I know, like a giant fuzzy bear, right?
I just want to snuggle him.
Snuggle, snuggle. He holds onto a chain, which signifies the devil's bind on the church.
Okay.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Me either.
And he whips it about because he's extra as fuck, and he's with his chain.
He's jazzy.
And his chains also may have jingle bells hanging on them. Jingle, jingle. Pagan descriptions of Krampus have him carrying a birch branch to whip children with. And to other lores, he is carrying a whip.
I feel like I know the whip one.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the stick, is what I had originally heard. Sometimes he is seen carrying a large bag or sack of sorts, and taking children back with him.
Mm-hmm.
Krampus is known as the evil version of Santa over in Austria and Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been celebrated in the Alpines of Austria, Germany, Slovenia, Hungary, and the Czech Republic.
He's kind of like
for
anti-Santa.
Hundreds of years. Yeah, he is like literally anti-Santa.
Like the Antichrist, he's the anti-Santa.
Anti-Santy. He's just like my case last week. Like, he's the evil partner of Santa in these countries.
Excellent.
I noticed Santa has a lot of helper from different countries, or Saint Nicholas or Papa Noel have helpers in different countries, and those helpers are, like I had mentioned last week, are the bad cop to his good cop,
Except
right?
the cute goat.
His evil half, right? It's like his evil counterpart,
Except-
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Except for the wonderful goat.
Yes, except for the Yule goat.
Because who doesn't love a goat?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves goats. If you don't love goats,
Bah! That's me as a goat.
then you're lying.
Bah! That's me as a goat.
Bah.
And you gotta scream, do like the, the bah!
Dude, this is literally as loud as I can talk now, and I'm yelling.
Relax, friend. So, Krampus became more widely known in the 1890s and up when he was published on postcards called Krampus Carten. He was printed with upset and scared children. Some cards would have him with branches, scaring the children. Others were him taking children away in chains, or inside of a large bag that he carries on his back. These cards were sold a lot between 1890 up straight through until World War I started. The cards would say Gros vom Krampus, which means greetings from Krampus. They even made adult Krampus cards with him taking adults away for food or romantic things.
Oh.
I saw one of a lady Krampus, and she was wearing like a 1920s like flapper kind of dress. Mm-hmm. And it was a little provocative, and she's got little men like screaming around her, and she's just, it was pretty funny. I'm like, I like that.
Oh no, were her ankles showing?
They were. And her knees.
And her shoulders, I bet, too.
A little bit of her thighs.
Wow.
Yeah. Real provocative, yeah.
I mean, I love me some good ankle.
Right. And knees.
As soon as I see an ankle, I'm like, yes.
Moister than an oyster.
Ew.
So, like I had mentioned 2 weeks ago in my episode when I mentioned December 5th, and you were like, oh, like St. Nicholas Day.
It's the 6th.
Mm-hmm. Well, December 5th is known as Krampus Night, right? And the sick motherfucker, Krampus, he's proudly walking around town with his good pal St. Nick. And they're just strolling through town. St. Nick's giving out gifts to all those good old children. And Krampus, smiling like a sick motherfucker, is chasing and taking away all the naughty children to his lair. Sometimes he will even beat the children if they were bad enough, drag them down to hell, or eat them. Long pig.
So he's from hell?
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
On December 6th, children wake up finding gifts for their good behavior or injuries that need to be tended to.
Or not at all, because they got eaten.
Yeah, or they're just completely fucking gone because they went to hell or got eaten. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Some lores go back saying Krampus is the son of the Norse god Hel. Hel was the ruler of the underworld.
I thought the ruler of the underworld was...
This is Norse.
Ah.
You were going to say Hades, weren't you?
I was.
That's Greek.
I always get them mixed up, and I don't know why. They're like a blended thing in my brain. I can't separate them ever.
Hel is also a child of Loki.
Oh.
And with Christianity making its way around Europe, Krampus soon became more associated with Christmas than its original roots. Even though churches were trying to banish him from festivities due to him looking just like a devil, goat representation, got the horns, etc.
It just needs to be red.
But he also has similar characteristics to other mythical demons from Greek mythology as well.
Same thing.
Like satyrs or fauns.
I don't know who those are.
Satyrs would be Hercules' little buddy.
Okay.
Kind of like that.
Yes, okay.
Half goat, half man.
Yes.
Half bull, half man kind of thing.
Yes. Danny DeVito.
Mm-hmm. Or like a half bull, half man thing, yeah. I do not know what a faun is, though. Pardon me.
Well, I know what a fawn is, but I don't know
it's
what
not like a
fawns
deer.
is.
It's not a baby deer.
Fawns. Is
Or maybe a fawn is more like what Danny DeVito is. And a satyr, I think, is a bull, half person.
Yeah, so fawns are
A goat man?
untamed nature spirits of untamed woodlands. And they love to dance and play the flute.
So think of Danny DeVito, but with a flute.
Okay.
Alright?
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure a satyr is a bull. Or was I more right with him?
So, fawns are Roman mythology, and satyrs are Greek mythology.
And they're basically the same thing?
Yes, and they love
Okay.
wine, music, dancing, and women.
Okay.
And they're
So it's just Danny
They're-
DeVito. Yeah,
they're
it
the
is Danny DeVito. All right.
just one is Roman and one is Greek.
All right. Many locals...
Sorry.
No, it's not good. Many locals in Austria and Germany still celebrate Krampus to this day. They even try to include the refugees that move into their countries. You know, be like, welcome here. We want to show you our customs. So you can see what it's like being here, like what our festivities are like. Just being friendly. They hold big celebrations and parades for Krampus. Krampus is being celebrated now worldwide, mostly in USA. Florida even has their own Krampus run, which I will discuss in a minute.
Okay.
And Pennsylvania Dutch have a Christmas character called Pelsnickel or Belsnickel, who is similar to Krampus,
Okay.
which leads historians to believe Krampus had migrated over to America when German settlers made their way over here.
Okay.
And it just kind of like the story turned into a little bit something different, but similar.
All right. I'm following.
Kind of like how there's different versions of Santa,
Yes.
right? So, some fun facts before we wrap things up. For our last case of the year. Wow.
And the last bit of Kendrah's voice. I'm trying, guys. You can make it to the end of the year.
Some people dress up as big-horned goat demon costumes for the festivities. There is even the Krampus loaf, or which is known as the Krampus run. And it's basically an alcoholic run through the streets of towns and villages.
Nice.
And it involves men dressed up in costumes of Krampus, scaring the shit out of children so they're good.
Nice.
When I read this, I said, Nick, do you want to do this? It's like new Christmas traditions. Dress up as demons and run through the streets scaring people.
What did he say?
He just laughed awkwardly and said no.
Oh. That's because he's a good Christian boy.
Yeah. The women dress up as a character called Frau Percha,
Okay.
Perchta, who is a figure from Norse mythology. And it is a representation of Freya, the Nordic deity of fertility and war.
Interesting.
Yes. It's tradition to offer Krampus schnapps when he comes by on December 5th.
I used to love peach schnapps when I used to drink.
Yo, peach schnapps are good. Good with some Sprite.
Schnapps.
Schnapps. Like that episode of Big Bang Theory
Yeah, that's
where
what
they're
I was
like,
thinking.
schnapps. It's so fun to say, schnapps. I love Big Bang.
Me too.
In Austria, you can buy gifts like horns, chocolates, and other forms of Krampus-style gifts.
Nice.
I kind of want like a horn and some Krampus chocolate. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
There is a comic book series about Krampus called Krampus.
Nice.
And it's basically Krampus who helps save the members of the secret societies of Santa Clauses. And they lose their powers and they have to turn to Krampus to help save the day to get their powers back so they can be there for Christmas.
Whoa. I feel like I need these comic books.
Yeah, he's like this muscular fucking... Oof, I saw a picture, yeah.
I need to read these.
Right? I was really intrigued.
You should send me one of those pictures for the...
I will, yeah. Krampus was also featured in multiple movies and TV shows like American Dad, Supernatural, and Scooby-Doo. Here are ways to celebrate Krampus love in your home. You can wear scary masks. And light or eat Yule logs. And hit people with sticks. So, Krampus seems to be more funny than scary nowadays. And Krampus's punishments were a lot more harsher than what we know Santa's to be. I mean, a lump of coal is a lot better than being beaten by a demon with a stick or sent to hell or eaten.
True.
So, Merry Christmas to all. I hope you have fun beating the shit out of each other with sticks this festive season.
I know that I'm about to go find one outside for Olivia.
That's so funny. There's a really big one
Now
outside,
I know.
and there's one on the floor.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's one right here beside us, and Kendrah and I are going to fight over it, and whoever wins, it's a fight to the death with a stick. And we have the scary bunny mask.
Yes.
There we go.
But anyways,
So-
happy end of year, and we hope that you all continue to listen next year.
Happy holidays. We will talk to you guys next year. It's
Yep.
my favorite New Year's joke. Favorite joke.
Yes.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your year. Enjoy your holidays. See you later.
Thank you for the wonderful year.
Bye.
Bye.
Special thanks to Dylan Sears for the theme song and Sally Gunter for the cover art. Support us on Patreon and like, share, rate, and subscribe to us on all of our social media pages and your podcast streaming service. Do you have any personal stories or suggestions for the show? Email us at bloodgutsandbooze@gmail.com.